Good afternoon, everyone. Ben Buckland and Jody Brott with Chamber Chats. We're so glad that you joined us. We always have this show at noon on Monday, except when we don't, which is this week. So then we have it at noon on Wednesday, and here we are. Jody's here, and I have questions. Inquiring minds want to know, how did the arts festival, the Nescatunga Arts Festival, go? It looks like it was shaping up to be a winner.
It was great. At least from my perspective, I thought that it was great. I was sitting in the office on Friday afternoon last week. My new grandbaby came to visit me that day, and they were in there, and I was, snuggling them, and a visitor walked in, and she said, "I'm a visitor." And I'm thinking, this is Alva. I know that, because we know everybody, right? Anyway, she said, "I'm a visitor." And I said, "Well, what can I help you with? What do you need?" And she said that she was in town for the Nescatunga Arts Festival. And I said, "Well, that's awesome. Where are you from? Are you a vendor?" She had told me she'd found her hotel room, that she found the space where the arts festival was going to be. And I asked her if she was a vendor, and she said, "No, I'm actually from North Dallas, and I came up here for the arts festival. I have kids who live in Bartlesville. I've had friends who have lived in Alva, and I've always wondered about Alva. And I saw that the arts festival was happening, and I thought, why not? Let's go." And so she traveled from North Dallas to come up here for the arts festival. And while she was here, of course, I gave her a list of all the things to do. I said, "Okay, so while you're here," I'm like, "the arts festival doesn't start until 5 o'clock, but hey, here's what's happening right now." Because it was, early afternoon, maybe, 1 o'clock or so on Friday. I said, "Why don't you go downtown and check out all of the boutiques? Hop into Holder Drug. They have an old fashioned soda fountain in the back. They have, of course, some cute shopping up front, but in the back is the old fashioned soda fountain. You got to go get yourself a cherry limeade or a Jack and Jill. And while you're downtown, go check out all of the boutiques that are down there. And hey, tonight is also the first Friday Art Walk. Why don't you pop into Graceful Arts and see what's going on in there? And hey, if you want to, while you're downtown, or you can go back tomorrow when your kids get here from Bartlesville, go down to ABC and check out their pizza and all that they have to do there." Anyway, so it was fun to be able to tell her. And I said, "And if you're still waiting around for it to start, or you need more things to do, how about you go on a mural tour? How about and so gave her all of the things that she needed. Oh, and I told her, I said, now you're going to want to go to breakfast in the morning, and you're probably going to want to go to 818 for breakfast, because they have a great breakfast spread. But you're also going to want a coffee, early afternoon, I'm sure. So head down to Wicked Grind and go do that." So it's always fun when visitors come in and we get to tell them all the things that are going on. So was that Nescatunga Arts Festival? No, but it was one person who came to Nescatunga Arts Festival. It was a steady stream throughout the weekend, that Friday and Saturday. And let me tell you, Ben, the entertainment was so good. Like, every act was just stellar. Have you heard Bear Rodriguez? Have you heard him sing? Do you know?
No.
Oh my goodness. He lives outside of Winoka.
Right.
Yeah. A teacher over in Woodward. And that was so much fun and so solid. I immediately texted. I had never heard him before, and I immediately texted Carly. And I said, "You got to get this guy. You got to come down here. Are you at the arts festival? You got to come down here. You got to hear this guy. You got to get him on the High Plains stage." So anyway, she's like, "Oh, I meant to be there." And then I found out that I think they actually got the contact from Carly, but she had never heard him before, just heard about him. So she got to experience that. And then, of course, Carly's sister, Candace, performed at noon the next day. But local favorites, as well as just a stellar group of people. Katie Bradford came and sang as well. So and then the arts and crafts that were around. Just so much fun. It was good. And I think they had a decent crowd as well. Yeah.
That's good. That is really good. I was going to ask you, do you know what annual this is of the arts festivals?
It was the 55th annual.
You were kidding.
55 years.
If you'd had me guess, I would have missed it by 20 years. It's been going on that long, huh?
It has. I know that the original group who put it together wanted to do it. They were like, we're going to hit 50. We're going to hit 50. And at that point, a lot of them were kind of done after that. But also COVID hit, and there were a lot of things that like hindered Nescatunga from continuing. But thankfully, a group of people came in to continue what's always been going on. Now, is it in the space that it's always been? No. And that was a request from the vendors so that they would continue. They continued to have like some vendors dropping off because you never know about rain, and this time of year, it seems like it used to be like April showers bring May flowers. It feels like the rain's now coming in May and June instead, as much as, we want rain year round, right? That's what we want. Like what you said in Ireland, just that 1 hour a day, predictable. It's not like that here. Unpredictable. You never know what's happening. And they had vendors who just were not wanting to set up their equipment or their arts or, whatever downtown with the possibility of rain and that possibility of, do we have it inside? Do we not? Because it takes a lot to set it up. So that's why they've had it where they are having it. But we're thankful for those people who have stepped in and stepped up to continue the tradition of Nescatunga. 55 years.
Your lament there reminds me of a time in Oklahoma City. I was not on the committee, but I was around the committee because our radio station was involved in several parts of the arts festival in Oklahoma City. And what the committee meeting was about was just what you're talking about. And I had never thought about it. But, if you're a watercolor artist, right, and you've got everything displayed and one of our pop-up storms hits, you're not only in trouble for this weekend, you're in trouble for a whole bunch of weekends.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and so that's, you got to have, if you want vendors there, you got to consider what's going to get them there or what's not. And some of them are like, quite honestly, we live in a society of comfort, right?
Oh, and entitlement.
And so with that, it's hot, and if you're a vendor and you're out there for 2 days straight in the 90 plus degree weather that may be windy and you're fighting, keeping your products up right because of, my gosh, this wind right now. You just never know. It's Oklahoma.
What's really popular now are those flag things that advertise your place or that you're open or whatever, and they sit in a base. Yeah. A vase looking thing. Yeah. So, I have seen a couple of events where everything was prone. Everything had blown down.
Well, my goodness, we set up sometimes with the porta petty, and so we'll set up a tent. And, at the snake hunt this year, our tent was like flipped nearly, backwards, or, a portion of it like broke because the wind took a hold of it and just snapped it. So, and it wasn't like we had a super cheap tent, but you use what you got. And so I don't know that we'll be using that tent again, but that's what I'm saying is like, if you've got your stuff set up underneath a tent, it's a difficult, just to keep everything going, to keep your tent upright, to keep it down and in place so that the wind doesn't take off with it. And, you hope that you're shaded from, the sun, but also from rain and all of that. So yeah, that's why they have it inside now.
I've never lived the life of a vendor as the way I make my living, but I've lived vicariously through a lot of vendors because we were advertising them, or we were at their place for a remote broadcast and so on. That whole vendor deal is kind of a crapshoot.
Oh, yeah.
They sit down. I mean, you've got the trailer. Um, you're probably trying to keep a marriage together because you're both your husband and wife working this deal.
It's like working cattle.
It's like working cattle. Yeah. If you can make it through a day of working cattle without having to have an arbitrator of any sort, then that's a win without a doubt. So they sit down at the beginning of the year and they go, okay, here's what we're gonna do, and then that's either their life or a good part of their lives, and so it's important to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of them have extensive equipment. I mean, setup is a deal. I mean, our little deal. When we go to a live stream, we went to Winoka last night to have the county commissioner candidates for District 3. I always learn something because the bar's set pretty low for me on the learning curve here. So it didn't take much to impress me, but it becomes fairly easy that District 1 would be Alva, District 2 would be Freedom, and District 3 would be Winoka, that area, And I really learned some stuff about the care and maintenance. We have kind of a tough deal here with weather. I mean, the road to my house is good unless it rains, but we want it to rain, and so we want it to be bad, and it becomes a living paradox. So I'm talking to these two guys down there, and we're talking about kind of the same things that the same thing that you and I are talking about, that being planning. And then, I mean, there's lots of planning committees. There's not a lot of, okay, now go work and carry it out committees.
Well, we all have a lot of ideas, but you have to have the people who are willing to be the follow through,
And those are scarce. There's not a whole group of those people anywhere.
Right. There's always lots of opinions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't have much, but I have an opinion. I promise. And I will bring it and I will share it.
Yeah. Sometimes I will.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to be quiet. But thank you to Rachel. We went to Rachel's Cafe last night at 6 to 7. It's actually a bar and grill. Beautiful little place in Winoka across from City Hall. And we have an event coming up. Can I get into your time?
Go for it.
July the 2nd, which, by the way, this is just a necessary announcement. We all know that my birthday is the 3rd, so the 2nd would be one day before that. But the news is the economy is good enough that we have lifted any restrictions, any limitations on what you can buy me for my birthday. So just spread that around, will you?
I was going to ask you if there was going to be a birthday party for you.
I think we probably will. We've had several. Usually there's like 3 of us. I invite 200, and there's usually 3 of us.
It's a big year, isn't it?
Aren't you just a catty little thing?
I mean, I'm just saying. I was going to talk about the Chamber's 90th birthday and bring it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, I know you're not 90.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but I was going to talk about the Chamber's 90th birthday celebration coming up, and then I thought I need to make sure and say something about Ben's birthday. So I'm glad you brought it up first.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for covering it. On the 2nd, Rose and Ben will be at Holder Drug because Sally is giving away a 5-burner grill. It's a dandy. It's a beautiful thing, and all you got to do is go in and register, and Sally will show you where to register. It's not a hard thing at all. We'll give it away on the air. You don't have to be there. We'd like for you to be there. In fact, the person that won it 2 years ago was standing there when she won it. That was
That's exciting.
that was a little bit unusual. So get downtown, get that done, and so we're in Winoka last night. Something occurred to me, and that is that if you are being interviewed on the radio, it has become somewhat usual to be rather defensive, rather than it be an opportunity to say anything you want to say. It becomes, am I going to be asked something that I really don't want to be asked? You know, that didn't occur, but a couple of times last night. I really remember when we did the forum for the, what was it, the sheriffs, I believe. That's a kind of a can have some tough areas to it because it's not always a reward thing on the law enforcement side.
Right.
So we had a bunch listening, and there's so much information. You know, if you have that job, okay, like your job. If someone were to ask you what you do in your job, it would be like, well, come on. I mean, I do the obvious stuff. And that's kind of the way we all approach our job. But to other people, we don't know what the obvious stuff is. I learned so much about the county commissioner thing last night that I absolutely did not know. It was a good thing.
Yeah.
Do you think the judge thing would be a good thing? I don't see that being a big competitive thing. I mean, we've got 3 guys. They're up for associate district judge. That is right, isn't it? Is it judge or associate district?
I believe.
Okay, we're going to look it up.
Look it up real quick.
And we've got 3 very recognizable names in our community. We won't do a forum because I didn't think of it soon enough. The election's coming right up.
Actually, so associate district judge is what they are running for here. And they actually, on Thursday, there's a network at night at Alva Beer Co., where the Woods County Bar Association is having a judicial meet and greet. And that's from 5 to 6:30. So if you're curious about any of the judicial candidates that are happening, then that's on Thursday, 5 to 6:30 at Alva Beer Co.
Thursday being tomorrow?
Yes, Thursday being tomorrow, because in-person voting starts tomorrow. You can do your early in-person voting at the Woods County Election Board, which is at 427 Barnes in Suite 2. That's in the Terracotta Place. So you can go in and do your early in-person voting from 8 to 6 on Thursday and Friday, and then on Saturday from 8 to 2.
Okay. So there's 3 of them. Am I right?
There are 3, yes. Yes, there are 3. It's Bays, Ritter, and Cunningham.
All recognizable names in our community. So interesting. I don't know what you ask about that position necessarily, but I'm sure there's stuff to learn. Probably the reason I don't know what to ask because I don't know anything about it. Another thing I don't know anything about, right?
Well, I guess if you don't know anything about it, what do? You go ask the source, right?
Go right to it and go to Alva Beer Co. and go, hey, I got a couple of questions here. Yeah.
What do I need to ask you?
Yeah. What is it that, yeah. Okay, what you got?
Okay, so you're talking about where you were last night. Last night I was at Alva Beer Co. because Blue Peak had a meet and greet. We are bringing fiber internet to town, and they gave a presentation and some giveaways. Some of their representatives, they actually had several representatives that were here last night. That was just parking area was filled with Blue Peak vehicles. But they had a great representation. They had a lot of people show up for that meet and greet. They said that they are actually opening in several areas, and Alva's meet and greet was one of the most well attended. So that was fun. They had fun shopping around town to do some giveaways. They are actually going to be sponsoring a free swim on July 4th this summer. So they are looking to just jump headfirst into the community and do that.
Cade Kennedy, you know, our producer director that's across the console from us here, the strong silent type. He represented us last night. You saw him there? Yeah. So he's not just saying.
He did not lie to you. He was there. I saw him.
And he probably had his Northwestern gear on because he spiffs out pretty good in his new Northwestern dress.
Honestly, I don't remember what he was wearing, as he probably does not remember what I was wearing. So sorry, Cade.
So Cade tells me that those people said, those the representatives of the business said that this was one of the best ones of the meet and greets, and they've had several.
Yeah, absolutely, and they will be coming back in. Well, they're hoping to have their first rollout of like new customers end of August. That is their goal, but they have to do a lot of stuff to, all the technical things to get it going, and it'll be like rolling it out in sections. But Blue Peak is coming, so that's exciting for internet.
And it is a good product. I mean, that in the ground stuff is good stuff. The other radio station texted me, their representative, and said, "I think my deal is more fun than your deal." And I said, "Well, you would have had to listen to my deal to have any frame of reference, buddy."
Well, I mean, what kind of food was served at yours? I mean, maybe there was some good food there too. And
I'm telling you, Rachel. No, it was our deal was great. I like some good friendly competition. Yeah. I think that's what this is.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe no competition. We just all work well together, right?
That's more. Yeah. That's really more like it, without a doubt. So okay.
I do have more. Oh. I have more stuff. If you'll let me continue to talk. Okay. Well, today is Gulp and Gallop. It's happening right now. Gulp and Gallop is a summer food program that's available to all children under 18, regardless of income level. So every little bit counts. So you can check that out with more information at the Woods County Coalition Facebook page. I know that they posted this morning about it and talked about the food box that is coming to the kiddos. So if you want to pick that up, you can actually go up to Northwestern Ranger Football Fieldhouse right now until 1 o'clock is when they are doing their pickups. So that's a pickup every Wednesday from 12 to 1. It started June 3rd and it goes through August 5th. So you can check out more about that on the Woods County Coalition page. You can sign up there for the Gulp and Gallop, or if you just show up, they will get you on the list. So know that is available. Emily Hollingshed is having her acoustic night tonight at Alva Beer Co. And along with that, they're introducing their pickle beer and pickle pizzas for the summertime, that summertime flavor. So if you are interested in checking that out, go to Alva Beer Co. tonight at 7 p.m. As we talked about, early in-person voting starts at Woods County Election Board tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's Thursday and Friday. And along with that, know what you're voting for. There are several things that are on the ballot, several people that are on the ballot, but there is a network at night from 5 to 6:30 at Alva Beer Co. tomorrow night, Thursday, with a judicial meet and greet sponsored by the Woods County Bar Association. And hey, also, there's a community Bible study put on by Steve Ham, and he is having that at Graceful Arts Gallery and Studios. That begins every Thursday night from 6 to 7. So you want to check out what is going on there. That is at Graceful Arts Community Bible Study. On Friday, early in person voting continues. And I don't know if you've ever been to the Moose, but the Moose for members and qualified guests from 7 to 9, they're having dart tournaments this summer on Fridays. They also have pool tournaments as well. I think that those are on Tuesday. Yes, on Tuesday. And that's for members of the Moose and qualified guests. If you're curious about that, message them on social media, give them a call to see how you can become a qualified guest. That's basically just saying you have a member that says, yeah, I vouch for them. So I think that you can do that twice before they kind of want you to become a member. I may be speaking out of turn on that, but that's the information that I know it as. But hey, on Friday, you can head out to High Plains Bank. That is the former community bank building. That is where High Plains Bank is now located. And they are having an appreciation cookout for their customers. That's from 11 to 2 on June 12th on Friday. That's 1729 College Boulevard. On Saturday, the farmers market continues. It's the farmers market on Flynn. That starts at 7:30 on Saturday mornings. It also happens, I think it's from 5 to 7. I may be incorrect on that, so forgive me if I'm wrong. At 5:30. It starts at 5:30 on Tuesday. So you can hit up the farmers market twice a week, Saturday at 7:30, Tuesdays at 5:30. That is happening on Flynn Street. So go check that out. This weekend, if you don't have your pet microchipped, Creature Concerns and Ridgeview Vet Clinic are having a microchipping clinic at the Woods County Fairgrounds from 10 to 2 this Saturday, June 13th. The first 100 pets registered are free, and then it's just $5 per chip. So if you've been wondering about getting your precious little fur baby microchipped, because we all know that our fur babies are members of our family and we don't want to lose them, and they just can't call home when they're lost, you might want to consider getting them microchipped. And then if they do get lost, it's easy to get them back to you. Next week, go ahead and shout this out, is our community coffee. This is the final legislative eggs and issues. That's next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, 8 a.m. And it is going to be at the City of Alva offices. So community coffee next week with the legislative eggs and issues. Of course, that will be right after the election on Tuesday, because Tuesday is when it is the election. So just that should be interesting. And then, of course, I got to shout it out for Bank It, because this month is the final month to bank it for the Alva Chamber Christmas. And we would absolutely love it if you would choose to bank it for Alva Chamber Christmas, because in addition to your donation, many of the banks actually match donations up to a certain point. So it's more bang for what you're given. So consider that. I think that's all that I have right now. But I'll probably come up with something else to say. Oh, I'll say this. Yes, see, I was scrolling through our newsletter. If you are not on our newsletter, you need to get on our newsletter. Go to alvaok.net and sign up for the newsletter, and then open it up and read it when it comes each Monday. If you didn't read it on Monday and you didn't open that up, it's okay. It's going to be sent to you again. Take up more room in your email box of your unread stuff. But what it's going to do is send it to you as a reminder on Thursday mornings that you haven't read it yet. And then you know what's going on for the weekend. But we have a section in our newsletter for all the kids' things that are going on. It's summertime reading at the library. Today is Lego Day at 1:00. Why do I know that? Because my kiddo wants to be at Lego Day, with his cousins. So, but there's also an adult summer reading program this year that's lots of fun. You can get yourself a punch card after you write a review for the book that you have read. And it's kind of like Book It for adults, so it's in conjunction with Alva Beer Co. So that's a lot of fun. You can check out all of the things that are going on at the library this summer on their website, or you can, again, get on our chamber newsletter, and we have that in there as well. Graceful Arts Art Camp, their intermediate camp is next week, so get signed up for that. Lots of camps going around, lots of VBSs, and we also have a section for job openings. So if you're looking for a job, you can check out those job openings that we are aware of. And of course, there's always good stuff playing at Rialto. So make sure that you go to Rialto and check out those summer movies. Get yourself a pretzel, a hot dog, some popcorn, a drink, some chocolate-covered almonds. That's if you're really hungry. You get all of those things, or you can share that with somebody else. And then I mentioned really quick the 90th birthday party for the chamber. So we're having a party. The chamber turns 90 years old on June 24th. And so it's a Wednesday. We're having a midweek celebration. And we're going to do a cookout at Hatfield Park on our actual birthday, which is June 24th. And we're going to do a hot dog cookout, games, music, and then afterwards, we're going to do a swim up at the swimming pool, June 24th. So mark your calendars for June 24th and come celebrate with us a 90th birthday party for the Alva Chamber. And of course, you can, tell Ben happy birthday on July 3rd. You're going to have some cake or something at Holders when you give away the grill.
Oh, I think the whole day is. I mean, for one thing, we want to have chamber chats on Monday that week, so you'll be freed up because it's a Wednesday deal, right?
Mm-hmm. For
in the park.
Well, it's going to be in the evening, so it's fine.
Oh, it's in. Okay.
It's going to be 6 p.m. is when it's going to start on the 24th. Yes, 6 p.m. And then we'll have food and cake and games and stuff like that. And then you can head up to the pool at 8 for the free swim.
Okay. Well, I hope there's still some daylight left. I've got a new fuchsia Speedo that I am dying to show. So, yeah, I'll be there.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah, right during the cookout, huh? Okay, you done there? You think you're finished?
I think I'm finished.
I have a Lego comment.
Okay.
Other than Mexican sandburrs, Legos are the most painful thing to step on in the free world.
I'm going to have to, I'm very adamant about having Legos picked up, but we are obsessed with Legos in our house. Obsessed. Like, my son is absolutely, that's his thing. If there's any one toy, it's Legos. So I'm going to have to show you pictures.
Please do. The most recent picture you showed me was him greeting his new, cousin? The new baby?
Oh, that's his nephew.
His nephew?
Yeah.
He's an uncle?
He's an uncle.
That's awesome. That is one of the most telling, wonderful pictures I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's pretty excited about him. Yeah.
So how old is the uncle and how old is the nephew?
Well, Breaker is 12 and Bennett is 1 month old today. I'm glad you mentioned that so I could say that.
Yeah.
But, I became an aunt at 8. Marissa was born when I was 8. So
Wow.
it's just when you have a big family or spread out people, that's what happens.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. That's the beautiful side of that. The little bit kind of melancholy side of that is that, well, my mom came from a family of 8. My dad came from a family of 9, or vice versa. I'd have to review that. And so they were the babies of those families. So for most of my young life, we had these huge reunions. Mm-hmm. But being the baby kind of has a tough part toward the end.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's very true. I agree with that. Having come from a large family where my dad was number 10 of 11, and so my younger sister is the youngest of all the cousins. Yeah.
Just yesterday, somebody was aligning me with your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, just at this thing at Rachel's. A guy said, "Now I don't really remember, but was Ray your age, or was he a year younger than you in school?" So your daddy came up yesterday evening.
That's always good. I love to hear that. Yep. He's still in people's memories.
For sure, for sure. Thank you. That is Chamber Chats. We occasionally go into other areas, but we also on Chamber Chats always keep you up to date on the happenings of Northwestern Oklahoma State University with producer director. He's our producer director, Cade Kennedy. He is the associate SID at NWOSU. Things popping on the hill. What do you got?
Well, I mean, it's a quiet time right now, just enjoying the summer, and it's hard to think in 2 months we'll be back to sports.
Whoa. Okay. Let's see. OTAs. I'm not familiar anymore with the rules. When can you practice in the summertime? When can you bring football people to town?
So it's actually interesting how this works. A lot of the coaches, they can't tell the kids certain things to do over the summer. They can give them a workout plan, but they can't tell them to go work out or do. They just have to basically trust that the kids are going to do it. Most of them will start to come back in early August, and then you'll get rolling with the fall workouts again, and practices and everything will be back to normal. Usually they get here a week or two before college starts, so early August they'll be back.
And the big deal used to be that you would come close to death as an athlete in two-a-days. We've adjusted two-a-days, I guess.
Yeah, you're not allowed to almost kill kids anymore. Not a good idea.
Wow, that was fashionable for quite a while.
It was.
Do you, Christy Cook, who worked for me with the Arena Football team, and then she became the commissioner of the Arena Football League. She was a trainer when, oh man, what was the guy's name that coached at OU that just did not work? He was, I can't believe I'm not remembering this name. It'll come to me. I'll need to call somebody at 3:00 in the morning. But Christy was on the staff of the trainers, so they have to be the water people. Okay, so this is two-a-days on the South Campus of OU, the South Campus, which was an encampment for prisoners. So that's where they're barracks or dormed or whatever. And no water was allowed by this coach. No water. The girls, or they weren't all girls, the trainers, there was a lot of shrubs around. The trainers were hiding bottled water in the shrubs so that a guy could have just a little snort occasionally if the coaches were looking the other way. We got to get that guy's name. We'll have it at a future date, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what era that would have been, because I mean there's the Gary Gibbs, Schnellenberger, John Blake.
Snellenberger. There we go. Snellenberger. It was Snellenberger.
That sounds 100% on cue for him. That sounds like something he would do.
One of the trainers had to take something to his house, and he wasn't there, and so his wife said, well, let's put it in the garage. It was some piece of equipment, I don't know. So they opened the garage door, and there was a display down one side of the wall of about 100 bottles of tomato juice.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, it was the mixed type that you buy in the store for your Bloody Marys.
Okay.
We're not going to run out. Not going to run out anytime soon. Yeah, Howard Snellenberger. We occasionally will review Howard Snellenberger here on Chamber Chat. So be ready. And we now switch you back to what we lovingly call regular programming.